All right, folks, let's clip that and get off and rolling here. Unhappy Wednesday, coming to you live. Once again, joined by the MP, Mason Paul. This is the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio and part of the Green Legion Radio family. We thank you for joining us tonight from wherever you may be and whatever device you're using to stream us on YouTube. So please pull up a chair, turn up the volume if you need to. Use the company dime if, God forbid, you're still stuck at work. Crack open a cold one if that's your thing on a Wednesday night. And let's try to have some fun as we put an end to day 3 of this week's hostage situation and look forward to tomorrow being Friday Eve. Mason joins us once again. What's up, young man? How you doing?
Doing good, Adam. Had a lot of fun last week. We got a lot to talk about. We had a fresh trade, and I cannot wait to get all into it.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Let's get right down to it here before I start getting to the room here. Everyone, Michelle's favorite part of the show, and she just walked in the door a couple minutes ago. We are proudly sponsored by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Cheerleaders brings you the area's most beautiful women on 5 different stages. Open 7 days a week from noon until 2 a.m. and until 4 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. For group information, call 215-467-1980. Also offering free parking, a full menu, daily drinking food specials, and a premium selection of cigars and a cigar lounge. If you're looking to get out to watch your birds and you don't want to sacrifice a kidney for tickets to the game, but you're looking for another spot, head on over to Cheerleaders and enjoy the 75-foot HD TV wall, as well as HD TV screens throughout the entire club. Once again, folks, that's Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Call 215-467-1980 for all of your group and party information. Folks, as always, at the bottom of your screen, you will see it every time we go live, greenlegion.com. If you're looking for a home tailgate or to get out on the road to catch the birds, greenlegion.com. Click on trips and tailgates. Find the one you're looking for. If it does not say sold out, buy away. Come on out on the road with us. You will never have a better time on an away trip for a Birds game. I do have some unfortunate news on that one. Michelle and I were supposed to be in Dallas in a few weeks, but unfortunately my full-time job has gone completely haywire. And sometimes the leader has to make some difficult decisions. And unfortunately for us, that difficult decision comes in the form of I had to back out of the Dallas trip this year. Not going to be able to get down there. It is a bummer. Michelle and I very much enjoy being out there, especially when the two of us get to go. It's our adult trip, but it's just not in the cards this year. Being that I was just in Minneapolis and I will be in South Carolina next week for Grady's graduation. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Mason, just so you know, everyone who comes in the room here has been really invested in my son. They know the whole story with the Army and everything. So I'm going to cover that real quick. But, yeah, not heading to Dallas, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go, okay? It is one of my favorite tailgate of any away game I have ever done with the Green Legion was the Dallas tailgate. I guess my favorite tailgate on land. My favorite tailgate overall was the sailgate going down the Cumberland River in Nashville. But, book away, guys. If you're looking for a home tailgate, trips and tailgates, home tailgates, find the game you're looking for. Book it. 4 hours, all you can eat, all you can drink. It's Stateside Live right outside the link, as well as the Green Legion Fox Sports pregame show. Also simulcast on Fox 29. This is where you'll get Quimby, Diaz, Sack, Super Sam, and Trey Thomas. And hosted by that cast of characters, along with Sean Brace. Excellent, excellent show. You will not find a better pregame show in the Philadelphia area than those young men and women right there. And I say young tongue-in-cheek. But so book away, folks. And yeah, Cap, I see your comment here. No, I know, brother. I can explain, but it really is a bummer. I started seeing emails explode while we were in Minneapolis, and figured, we'll just get it under control when I get back. It got worse as the weekend went on. I get back, and it is just a full-on 5-alarm dumpster fire that, I can't in good conscience be away, and then 2 weeks later be away for 4 more days, and then 2 weeks later be away for another 3-4 days right on the heels of Thanksgiving while my entire team is suffering through what's going on right now. So, like I said, sometimes the leader has to make difficult decisions. This is one of those times, and it sucks. But such is life, right? It is what it is. We'll make up for it next year. Unfortunately, that probably ends the travel for me this season. In hindsight, had I known this was coming around, we probably should have shifted Minnesota to Buffalo and then kept the Dallas trip, but there was no way I could have known that this was going to happen. So that is what it is. Let's welcome in some folks in the room here. Guys, Mason can't quite see the room just yet, so we're going to go ahead and, Russ Taylor's in the room, says, good evening,
I don't
bitches.
have tenure yet.
Captain Dent says, good day. Lou Mancini, good afternoon, people. Dev in the room, greetings. Dev, one of our most energetic folks here for our Midwest Eagles Nest. Russ Taylor, sad day in Philadelphia. We lost 2 voices, Harry Donahue from KYW News Radio and Pierre Robert from 93 WMMR on the radio for 40 years in Philadelphia and also hosted the Mumbers Parade. So, yes, a very, very sad day for the audience there in Philadelphia. Cheerleaders. No. What do we got here? Keenan, damn it, Gilmore. Now I'll be surrounded by nothing but females. Keenan, I am very sorry. I am sorry. And believe me, this is not a decision that came lightly. I'm looking at my wife right through the little window into the kitchen here. She's not happy about it either. We were very much looking forward to seeing you guys, but it's just not in the cards, and I do apologize. Had to issue that email to Steph and Quimby and apologize to them as well. Like I said, sometimes you got to make tough decisions when you've got a team like that, and this is one of them. But let's get away from all the caca news here, Mason. I'm going to hog up just another minute or two and give these folks an update on Grady. You guys all know he's been in basic training since September. Right after Labor Day started. Last week they completed the final and most difficult FTX or field training exercise called the Forge. This is where it was a 45-mile field training exercise. This is where it involves crawling under barbed wire, live rounds firing over the top of you, just hell on wheels for 4 or 5 days. And on the way back, get to be about, Grady was saying, about 8-9 miles out. The young lady who was in formation behind him was crying and saying she was not going to be able to make it. And Grady basically looked at her and said, bullshit, and had her grab onto his pack, and he helped pull her the final 8 to 9 miles back to base, thus helping her complete this field training exercise as well. So the update is he's checked all the boxes, folks. He's just got to do the grad prep this week and not do anything stupid leaving into it, and all systems go. He will graduate next Thursday morning at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Michelle and I will leave next Tuesday morning. We will drive out there, check into the hotel. Family day is Wednesday. Grady can't leave the base that day, but we get to spend the day with him on base. Goes back to the barracks sometime before dinner time. Thursday will be graduation day. We tap him out then, and he will be able to leave the base, but he's got to be back by like 5, 6 o'clock again. And that'll be pretty much it. Friday morning, we will get up and we will drive back here. He will get up and take his military transportation up to Fort Meade in Maryland to begin his job training. Secretary of Defense. we had a good laugh at that the other night. I hear you, brother. I totally hear you. But that's your update, folks. That's the update on Grady. You guys, pretty much everybody in here follows me on Facebook and whatnot. So there will be an absolute obnoxious amount of pictures coming next week. Be ready for it. We're looking forward to it. we got that call on Sunday while watching the game, so I got to announce that. I know Dev was in here a few minutes ago. I don't know if he still is, but he was there. We got to announce to our crowd. There was roughly 100 people. That Grady had checked all the boxes, completed his field training exercise, and then I told everyone to go hug my wife because she was crying. But then the crowd starts all chanting, "Let's go, Grady!" And it was just such a cool feeling. So, for all of you Midwest Eagles Nest maniacs that were out with us on Sunday, if you're listening now or later, again, I'd like to thank you for that moment on Sunday. It was really, really special. You guys really know how to warm our hearts. So there's all your mushy shit for the week. Let's get down to it here, Mason.
Here we go.
Owner of the week, we kind of skipped last week. We talked about some bad coaches or whatever. This one could have gone the gambling direction, but I think we talked pre-show about wanting to save that maybe as a topic for next week as more shit starts to come unglued with that. So I only had one way to go boner of the week this week, and that is when you lose to the final team that hasn't won a game yet. You lose in epic fashion in your home stadium, up by 10 midway through the first quarter, up by 14 with 10.5 to go, and you lose on a halfback pass to the freaking Jets, who scored 39 points and put up 505 yards of offense with Justin Fields as their quarterback. Brother, it doesn't get worse. Go ahead and run with that one for a couple of minutes.
It's crazy because initially I kind of thought I was going to actually message you pretty early on in the week because I thought that my candidate was going to be the Steelers uniforms because when they came out, I showed my dad. I was like, these are like so bad. These are garbage. And then we're watching on Sunday, and then that exact thing happens. I'm 1 minute the Bengals are up by 10 in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, boom, gone. And just like that, the Jets aren't with us anymore. Yeah, and it's Joe Flacco at the helm, and Joe Cool couldn't keep it together. And now Aaron Glenn somehow has a win as a head coach.
So Cap agrees with you. Steelers uniforms were a good choice for boner of the week. I agree as well. The Charlie Brown uniform was pretty bad, but I live here in Cincinnati. So we got done with our game, and we stuck around to watch the end of that, and it was a full-on shock. You're like, oh, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
I mean, it was let's put it this way. We had a lot of fun with it. So I went over to a buddy's house after the game, my wife and I, and we had a good laugh. I don't know. I mean, the Steelers looked like a Peanuts cartoon out there.
I told my dad, I was like, this looks like it was a yellow version of like a ref's uniform. I didn't even know what they were going for. They literally looked like they were trying to cross like just a yellow version of the ref's uniform. It was just completely just unbelievable.
Keenan says Steelers were dressed like the Yellow Power Ranger.
That's good. That's good.
Russ Taylor, my public service message to everyone: don't let a Halloween costume land you in the HR office and or the unemployment. Yeah, be careful, fellas. All you single men out there, it is slutty nurse season, so enter at your own risk.
That's right.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, God, dude, could you imagine? Like, look, the Bengals defense is bad, right? It is, and we all know it. But Justin Fields and the Jets offense with no Garrett Wilson, and they just they've been anemic, and you're up double digits halfway through the first quarter. You're in your own house. And then let's double down on it, right? So now they're coming. So they've got time, and all they need is a field goal. He gets 3rd and 10, and he does a dive play. What the hell kind of play call was that with no timeouts? Dude, like Zach Taylor, I don't know if you should have run him out of town for that one. That was rough.
Listen, some weeks you're snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, and sometimes you're snatching defeat from the claws of victory. So, I mean,
Yeah, it seems like the Bengals are kind of on the latter end of that. I don't know.
yeah, a little bit there, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit.
There's talk that Browning is going to be back under center because I guess Flacco's all banged up now. Right, so dude, I don't know what is going on here. I know if I'm Jamar Chase, I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, like really.
He just signed a fresh contract too. Him and T just signed fresh contracts, so they're in it for a long haul.
Yeah, they're
that looks
not
like.
going anywhere. You can't trade that money. That's too much.
No, absolutely not. No, they're whales now. They're financial whales. They can't
especially
be moved,
T.
even if they wanted to.
Especially Higgins. I mean, I think you can justify Jamar Chase because the whole Triple Crown thing, him and Jefferson, probably the two best receivers in football. But T is carrying a hefty price tag for a wide receiver too. And a guy who's had his own share of hamstring issues. Yeah. Did we talk about that with your father on that Monday night? My thoughts were that I thought the Bengals should have traded T. Higgins at the time. But not like if I've got Joe Burrow, why do I need two superstar wide receivers? If Joe Burrow is supposed to be this guy that everybody talks about, why do I need Jamar Chase and T. Higgins when I've got other holes I need to fill? Offensive line, pass rush, draft picks, and I could get some return for T. Higgins and see what Yosibas can do in that number 2 role. Or maybe I can use a third or fourth round pick and find a number just a middle of the road number 2 wide receiver and have Joe make him better, because that's what Joe should be able to do.
Yeah, I mean the thing was the thing is with T is that he was a second round pick, and so he certainly played better than a second round pick. But I don't think that you get a first round pick for him unless it's someone like I don't know, like the Chiefs might do that, maybe the Bills, I don't know, but you're not going to trade for a first round pick, and I don't think you want to. The best shot you got is trading for a player, an offensive lineman, like you said. But I'm not sure how many teams have starting caliber, really good starting caliber offensive lineman just trade for a star receiver to pay for $40 million. I don't know.
Not now. Nobody's taking that contract. Now you'd be lucky to get a 5th round pick for him. Somebody had to eat that contract. That's a huge amount of money for a number 2 receiver. Who again? I mean,
you might get a 3rd round pick if you decide to pay down some of it.
You'd have to pay down some of it. And he's also a guy that has had his share of hamstring problems, a lot like AJ has. You know, Russ Taylor. What did the people of Madrid do to get the Dolphins versus Commodes in 3 weeks? Who did they piss off? Hey, I don't know, man. The Commodes, as long as Jaden Daniels isn't going to be 100% healthy, they're going to have their troubles. I mean, and you say that about it. Same shit would happen with us. Look, I love Tanner McKee, but let's be honest here. If Jalen Hurts goes down, right, knock on wood, if he were to go down, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble, right? You can say that about any quarterback. Now, I know that Jaden Daniels isn't getting paid big yet, but when you look at a Joe Burrow, the Bengals are a mess. If Josh Allen went down, the Bills are screwed. Patrick Mahomes goes down, the Chiefs are screwed, right? Like Lamar goes down, the Ravens are a disaster, right? Any of your top tier quarterbacks miss time, it's a struggle bus. So, Washington, I think that's their biggest issue is Jaden just hasn't been on the field or hasn't been healthy when he was on the field. And he is slight. We talked about this some last year, where he, he's smart. He's got a big arm. He's a great athlete. I think he's a good quarterback. But if he weighs 180 pounds soaking wet, I'd be shocked. Like, he is so thin. So one bad hit, dude, and it's trouble for a kid like that.
Yeah, you gotta get some meat on those bones, and I know we all had the same fears about Devontae when he first got drafted. I mean, he was a slot guy, and so if you send him over the middle against the wrong team, I mean, you're gonna clean that guy up. And so, I mean, Devontae since is thickened up a little bit, had a few burgers. He's a big boy now, bigger boy, and so he can weather those types of stuff, and he's still as athletic as he was before. But in this league, you can't stay like that size for very long.
No, the wear and tear alone will get you. Devontae, I think, is just a smarter player. He like his field awareness and everything. He
He's
knows how to
smooth
get
too.
down.
Yeah.
Very smooth. Yeah, he knows how to get down, avoid the big hit most of the time. He does take some shots, but I think
He does.
sometimes those shots look really bad just because he is so slight that it looks a lot worse than it actually is. Like if you try, these
Yeah.
guys try to
He's
go
an
hit AJ like
acrobat.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, they're totally different. What do we got here? Russ Taylor again. What we need to do is beat the Packers because of that tie. They are ahead of us in the playoff standings. Well, that's just very true. We need to go beat the Packers. And Mason and I will talk a lot about the Packers game come next week. We're going to get into the Giants game here in just a minute. Lou Mancini, I think Tanner would do pretty good if Hurts went down. I realize scheme would change, but that kid looks capable. Okay, let's stop on that for just a second before we get over to the Giants.
Sure.
So in years past, I would have felt differently. I would have been like, we're screwed. Tanner can't move, yada, yada, yada. And that's still a problem. But the fact that we're not using the RPO nearly as much, I wonder if it's as big of an issue. Right? Like, it's not like I'm rooting for Tanner McKee to be the freaking starter here. I love Jalen Hurts.
Right.
But if it had to happen this year with this offense, is it as big of a problem as it would have been, say, last year, 2022, and so on?
At this point, with the way that the offense has been being called, it's been great recently, but I mean, one's an anomaly and two is a coincidence. I don't really know what this offense is going to look like going forward. If, let's say, Hurts, gets hit by a car tomorrow and Tanner's a guy going forward, I don't know what kind of offense we're going to see. I don't know if the offense that we saw against the Giants is going to be the one going forward, or is it going to be the ones that we saw against the Giants the first time? Is it going to be the ones that are just sluggish and slow and predictable and hard to watch? Tanner's great, and the weapons around him are terrific, but it's all about the input. And a great wide receiver, as Andre Johnson will tell you, can only take a quarterback so far.
This is very true. Quarterback's got to take the last few. He's got to do it himself. No question about it. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get your insight there. It feels like if we had to. I mean, look, I still think we're screwed if Jalen were to miss time. I think the drop off from Jalen to McKee, Jalen just does so many different things, right? Like Tanner might be.
I think we
Tanner
made the
has a bigger
playoff.
arm. We don't have.
I think we made the playoffs.
Yeah, but again, the talent overwhelms, right? This is kind of some of the other stuff we talked about last week. Are we winning games just because we're just so much more talented? I think you can make that argument even with Tanner McKee on the field. But he's got a bigger arm. We all know that. But Jalen just does so many things well. The scrambling, the leadership. And I'm not saying Tanner can't be a great leader, but we know Jalen is, right? Like, it's just a different thing.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, just these past few years, Jalen's capacity as just a leader, not just a quarterback, not his arm or decision making, just him as a leader has matured and just developed just exponentially. And so if you were to lose a guy like Jalen, it's not just about, okay, well, Tanner has this accuracy and that much of an arm and can read these defenses. It's about how well can you rally the guys together. And that's a really big loss, and that's something that really should be considered when it comes to backup quarterbacks and who you have behind the first guy.
Yeah, I agree. The unfortunate thing is salary cap. Once you pay that starter that big bag, you don't have enough cap space to afford a stud as your backup, right? You kind of got to get lucky, like we did in 17 with Foles. All right. Let's.
We are talking about the same team that paid Chase Daniels like $10 million to sit on the bench. So
this is very true.
I'm just saying.
Let's let's see here. Russ Taylor again. Mason, we need more going on in that background behind you. I'm thinking some player posters for your advertisement. Maybe some dancers from cheerleaders on a loop to help advertising. Oh man.
I'll get an Eagles curtain.
Don't do it. Don't do it for me. Do it for the ladies. All right, let's get on to the Giants game here. Let's get on to our game because I do, guys. I don't mean to rush so much here, but I mentioned my work atmosphere right now. I gotta try to hard stop as close as possible to 7 as I can because I gotta hop back online with my full-time job. And what a nightmare. Anyways, so I mean, look, we talked about this last week, Mason, and I think we were both on the same page. We wanted to see the Birds come out and start pushing people around. Right? It was time to get Saquon going. Let's shove these idiots around. And they did that. To the tune of 276 yards on the ground on 33 carries. So the ratio was much better, 33 carries to 20 passing attempts, 276 yards on the ground, just the 1 touchdown rushing. Jalen throws for 4, which is excellent. Just shows how efficient he was. Now, when that run, you see what happens when Saquon gets loose. For Christ's sake, Bigsby goes over 100 yards too. You know, when that run game gets going, everything opens up, right? Now Goddard ends up with 2 catches for his only 2 catches are both touchdowns, right? Jalen overall 15 of 20, just 179 yards, but 4 touchdowns, no picks, right? Again, no turnovers. Just the 4 rushing attempts, 22 yards. Again, I still feel like that's a little low. But when you have Saquon and Tank who go for a combined, what is that, 23 carries for 254 yards and a touchdown, I don't think you're going to find too many people complaining.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, when I was watching this game, it kind of gave you that feeling. I mean, at least on paper. I mean, Jalen Hurts, the 15 for 20, so it's right in that range that you always talk about wanting to see Hurts, the 18 to 23 kind of attempts per game. So he's hitting that sweet spot right there. It's just another reminder that Jalen, one of the reasons why he won't be an MVP candidate, a perennial MVP candidate, is because he simply just doesn't really have the stats yet. I mean, he might be one of the only quarterbacks that can throw for 4 touchdowns while somehow being under 200 yards. His QBR was 67, which was, I mean, it's up there. His rating was 141.5, which is fantastic. When you look at the rushing game against the Giants, you have Saquon, like you said, 14 for 150. That's 10.7 average. That's crazy. Tank Bigsby, his first run after taking over for an injured Saquon Barkley was what was it, a 27 some odd yard run for a first down on a 2nd and 31 or something like that.
Second and 31. Yep. Keenan actually just called it out right there. 2nd and 31. Yep.
Exactly. And so you have Bigsby walk in. He does that. 9 carries, gets 104, 11.6% average. I don't think this is what a lot of people expected when we traded for Tank Bigsby, but I'll take it. But this looked like an offense that is something that could. I mean, if this is us hitting a stride mid-season, I can only hope that this isn't peaking and we aren't like at full gear yet. But Jalen Hurts, 4 touchdowns. He's throwing all over the yard. And so I liked what I saw, but man, the play calling was great too. That second touchdown to Goddard. I mean, when he just slipped behind, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. No. It's something else of note here. Since we've acquired AJ Brown, when AJ has had to miss time and Devontae has had to kind of step into that number 1 spot, a lot of times it really hasn't gone that well from a pass game perspective, right? Like they kind of you can knock Devontae off his roots a lot easier than you can AJ, right? They feed off of each other. Now Devontae just doesn't miss a whole lot of time, so we don't know what it looks like with just AJ on there. But I know when AJ has been out, when AJ has been out, Devontae having to move into that top spot, it hasn't always been all that great looking. I thought Devontae looked fantastic on Sunday.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
9 targets, 6 catches, 84 yards. He looked very much like a number 1 wide receiver.
Mhm.
I think it's easy for us to call him a number 1 while he actually is the number 2 behind AJ. But when you actually see it, and he's got to go out there, and
No,
now
yeah.
everyone else has to elevate. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, anybody who talks about Devontae Smith to anyone who is not an Eagles fan, doesn't watch, or who doesn't know Devontae and how good he is, because he's always constantly overshadowed by AJ and even Goddard. Devontae Smith is a legit number 1 receiver in the NFL. He has the talent to do it. He's polished to do it. He has a talent that you're only born with, and he has a skill that you are coached with. And so he does this stuff regularly, and it's only because AJ Brown is AJ Brown. I mean, he's AJ Brown, and so he's going to easily overshadow a guy like Smith. But Smith is legit number 1 guy, and it's only when the big brother sometimes has to go away that the little brother kind of reminds everyone that, you know what, he's a first-round pick.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Quimby and I talked about this a number of times too, in that we feel, as far as an overall talent perspective, right? Just as far as sheer talent at the wide receiver position, this is taking nothing away from AJ Brown. Just the technical skill of a wide receiver. Devontae Smith is the best one on the roster.
Absolutely.
His field awareness, route running, hands, the way he's able to contort his body, the feet, keeping inbounds, the way, like we talked about before, how he kind of is able to just get underneath a lot of big hits. He just always knows where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as fast as he is, when you run crisp routes, it makes you look even faster. And Jordy Nelson got away with that for a decade in Green Bay.
Yes.
He only had 4 or 5 speed, but he looked faster than that because he ran excellent routes. Jerry Rice was the same way, not the fastest guy in the world. But yeah,
I mean, a good route runner. Yeah, a good route runner looks like he runs a 4.2, and so I mean, even if you don't have the speed to run a 4.2 or a 4.3 or whatnot, you don't have to be the fastest receiver to be a number 1 guy in the NFL. All you have to do is just be able to run routes, and a lot of that is talent, but a lot of that's also coachable. You can't really coach speed. You either got it, or you don't. And I mean, Devontae, even back in Alabama, he was like this. He was smooth and he was buttery, and when he was going in and out of routes on crossers, on ins and outs, on slants, and everything that he did, he was smooth. And that's how he got 5, 6, 10 yards of separation. And he's still doing it. And just a testament to what the kind of player that he is and the attention he puts into it.
Agreed. Yep. The most gifted receiver on our roster. And again, that's taking nothing away from AJ. The only thing Devontae does lack is that freakish size, right? Like I can tell you, if Devontae Smith was built like AJ Brown with that skill set, he'd be the best wide receiver in football.
He'd be the number 1. Yeah, no.
It would not be close.
No, AJ Brown's a monster, but Devontae Smith does everything else.
Yes, agreed. Let's get over to Saquon. Okay, so huge game, right out of the gates, 65-yard touchdown run. Yep. Everybody's going bananas. I'm sure you were. I know, myself and the other 100 people that were out with us were going to, we're going insane too. But now we have a tweaked groin. So, and look, we've got a bye week here. So, the expectation is he's back for Green Bay and we march forward. And I know Tank Bigsby looked great and all, but I don't think anybody's foolish enough to believe that we could go into a game like against Green Bay and be like, all right, with Tank Bigsby as our starting running back, that the
Adam,
Packers
speak
are
for
going
yourself.
to give the same that the Packers are going to give the same respect to the run game. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, no. No. Real quick on that Saquon touchdown, though. I do want to just give a quick little shout out to Landon Dickerson. The lowly little radio show here. Going to give a shout out to an all pro left guard. On that touchdown run, he had like the key block there. I'm not sure if you saw it, but he climbed from the first level to the second level. He sealed the linebacker, and that just basically allowed Saquon to be in an Oklahoma drill with a safety, and he'll beat a safety any day of the week in an Oklahoma drill. And so when it comes to that, that's really good. And so yeah, a shout out to Landon Dickinson for getting that done, and everything was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have gone better from a run game perspective, that's for sure. Captain Demps chimes in, says Devontae is excellent, but he would like to point out we can have the number one wide receiver conversation when defenses start putting CB1 on Smitty. That's a fair statement, right? Like, now he did face that this past Sunday and still looked great, but again, it's the freaking Giants, right? Like, it's a fair statement. And look, I think we all know that at some point in their careers, it's going to come to that. I don't know if anybody looks at A.J. Brown as an Eagles lifer at this point. I just don't. I don't think you can assume that. I think you can look at Devontae Smith and be like, this kid's probably going to wear green for his whole career. So at some point, there's probably going to be, a so long to A.J., and Devontae's going to have to step in and fill that role. And then we will see. Cap's right. When he's got to face that CB1 week in and week out, we'll see what happens. Although he did that his rookie season and still had 900 yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this is a vastly different Devontae Smith than what was there in the rookie year. But I think that the organization does recognize that Devontae, although he is talented enough to be a number one, he truly excels in being like a Robin to someone else's Batman. Not saying that he can't handle being Batman, but he certainly benefits from it. And so I think that if AJ were to leave, I think we would certainly at least we would probably look to draft someone in the first round to replace AJ, just because we want someone else to kind of pair with him. I don't think we'd want to have Smith out there just carrying the way all by himself like that.
No, I agree with you. And it would need to be another big body receiver, right? Give me a possession guy that can go out there and out muscle some dudes. You know what I mean? Like, look, and as much as we just talked about it, I think the world of Devontae Smith. I believe if you, as the quarterback, survey the defense and you're reading single high safety and I've got AJ on the outside one-on-one, I will throw that ball out there every single time, because I do still believe that AJ Brown is the biggest 50-50 ball nightmare in the league. I think he is too strong for any corner. I think he's too fast for any safety. He doesn't have to run perfect routes like Devontae does, right? AJ can just go out there and out-brawl you for the thing. And we've seen him do it a number of times. So, I mean, I agree with Cap here. We'd like to see what that looks like when Smitty actually has to face that week in and week out. But, hell, he sure looked great this past Sunday, man.
I will say if it was a single high safety look and it's man to man and I have AJ to the left and Devontae to the right, I'm not sure if you saw the wide angle of Jahan's touchdown, but so Jahan was on top of the screen and he runs. If you watched Smith and his route, he runs a stop and go. He has 15 yards in the guy. If he was the first read, Smith has 2 touchdowns
That's true.
He has a touchdown that game. And so I think, with the route running, as we talked about earlier, you don't need to be a fast guy. You don't need to be a tall guy. All you have to have is good route running. And I think one-on-one, I think it's actually a lot closer. I think if we're in the red zone, I throw it to AJ. But if we're taking a shot, I think I like both pretty equally there.
I love both. I do. I mean, hell, look at what Dotson did. I mean, what a circus freaking.
That was a Madden animation. That's what that was. That was a Madden animation.
Sure as hell was fun to watch, though. Just salt in the wound.
Oh yeah. He's the last guy you expect to do that.
Yeah,
he's the last guy,
right? Number 3 wide receiver. Yeah. Now, shift over. Another thing we talked about last week, and I was very adamant about this and rather vulgar about it too, in that I was sick and tired of. I like seeing rookies perform well. I think it's fun. I think it's great for the league. I hate it when it's on our biggest rivals. What I don't like is rookies with big mouths, like Cam Scatterbo. At the same time, I was not rooting for that level of shut up. You know what I mean? Like, this kid's season's over, and that's a little much, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what I was looking for was, maybe he catches a pass, turns up field, and somebody's right there and just, pow, welcome to the league, kid.
Yeah.
Instead, now we have, now you have him. He's done for the season. And now there's all this crap about Zach Bond. Was it a hip drop tackle? Is he going to get fined? Look.
Yeah. I think the NFL already said they're not going to pursue anything.
But yeah. I mean, I just don't. Like I said, I was rooting for him to get popped in the mouth. I was not rooting for him to have his season destroyed.
You got Joe Theismann.
That was rough. That was
rough.
Like, and I didn't
when we were watching the replay when it
right?
happened, oh yeah. We were watching that, and I was like, bro, I thought he broke it. I didn't think he dislocated it. I was a little surprised when they say he dislocated it. I was like, that thing looks snapped. I don't know what you guys are looking at, but I mean, it's better than a full-on break. It's a fracture. It was an open fracture, so the bone broke the skin there, which is always really a lot worse. It makes it a lot more complicated. But of course, thoughts and prayers are always with athletes when they go through these type of things. I mean, I think we all remember like the horror stories of Joe Theismann, of Alex Smith, of Dak Prescott, even when his leg snapped.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, this isn't like that. Yep. And so, just thoughts and prayers, Cam, and big props to Big Dom for showing the kids some comfort, some warmth, some Philadelphia brotherly love.
Well, and shout out to Scatterbo himself for complimenting the Philadelphia hospital, the Philadelphia crowd. Yeah. He did receive an ovation going off the field.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, and again, it would have been very easy to just look at him and, but that's just and compliment to the kid for
seems like a good kid.
Too. Yeah, he does. As much as I didn't like his big fucking mouth. But I mean, overall, look, the defense and look, Jackson Dart. I got to tell you something. That kid's appears like he is going to be a gigantic pain in the ass for a long time. He is strong. He is shifty. He's not incredibly fast, but he's fast enough, and he's just shifty enough to get shake free.
Sneaky athletic.
It's that freaking perfect. It's sneaky athletic. I mean, we were in his face all game long. What did we hurry him 7 times? What was it? 7
I think
pressures,
we
6
sacked
hits,
him like 3
steps.
or 4 times in the third quarter or fourth quarter alone.
Yeah. And he still goes for a $193, a touchdown, a 98.1 rating on a brutal afternoon when he lost Scatterbo and doesn't have his receiver. Darius Slayton.
Yeah, he doesn't have Neighbors. He has Wandale, Darius. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you lose
he balled out.
Scatterbo, who was your other weapon, and he still toughed that out.
Yeah.
For a rookie. Kid showed some toughness. I think, and for a rookie. Right. On a bad team. The Giants aren't good. So I think you got to give him a lot of credit for what he was accomplishing there. Overall, defensively, I mean, look, this is what should happen.
My prophecy came true. Got the 5 sacks.
5 sacks, yes, sir. But this is the type of game. This is what should have happened the first time we played them. Right? This is what I expect the Eagles to do to the Giants with both teams being in their current state. We're just so much more talented that we should bludgeon teams like that. And so when we got blown out that first game, it was maddeningly frustrating. And for 2 weeks, I carried that vitriol. And Sunday is exactly what needed to happen. I know that the final score has them with 20, but that was give me a break with that last touchdown. Nobody gave a shit. I mean, Nick pulled the starters with 5.5 minutes to go in the game. I mean, it was over, long over. And what a sigh of relief for us as fans to not have to go through an entire afternoon of cardiac arrest for the first time this year, right? Like literally the first time this year, there was by the time this halfway through the third quarter came, you were just kind of like, all right, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
you're
know,
relaxing.
and
Yeah.
just yeah, you were chilling. It was nice. We were able to watch the Bengals fall apart. It was a fun afternoon. Um,
Yeah,
defensively,
it's a
your
really good show.
sacks, yeah, Bond, Hunt, Ojimo, Carter, and Davis, all with the sacks. Bond and Cooper lead the way in tackles. I mean, it was pretty much everything you want to see. You
Mhm.
saw on Sunday. I don't know what more needs to be added to that. They
Yeah,
looked really good against the team that they needed to go get some vengeance against.
yeah. I mean, like I said last week, this defense was in dire need of either a game with a lot of turnovers forced or a game with a lot of sacks, something to kind of instill confidence on a team where you should beat them up. The Giants are a team where you should be able to stat pad a little bit, should be able to play with and get some confidence back into the team. Defense did that with 5 sacks. We as you said, we're hitting dart a ton over the course of the game, and I hope that this is something that I hope that the bye week doesn't take too much momentum away because we're going to need it against Green Bay. But if I mean, we even said it last week when we were talking about Minnesota and can the offense continue a performance like Minnesota? And it did. Now the question is, can the defense do the same thing? Can the defense maintain pressure? Can we force some more turnovers? The other day I checked our turnover differential. We're actually +4, which is really good. But a lot of that comes
Yeah,
from the fact that Jalen Hurts only has 1 interception on the year. It's not that we are just causing all these interceptions and punching a ball out. It's that Jalen Hurts is being surgically careful with the ball, and the defense has just been okay. And so, I really want to see our defense kind of transform in that way. We got to get some more turnovers, and I mean, I'll take sacks, but we got to get the ball back to Jalen.
well, yeah. I mean, anytime you get that level of pressure on quarterbacks, eventually the turnovers have to come, right? You're going to force these guys into bad decisions, right? That's the whole point in pressure is negative
Yeah,
plays and or turnovers, right? That's why you go
that's right.
after the quarterback as hard as you do.
That's right.
You know,
Especially if you
can't
could do it with 4 players, you don't have to blitz. It's a huge advantage.
huge advantage. One key thing we did win the time of possession thing for the first time, I think maybe all year. If not, it was close. But again, that third down conversion rate, not good, 2 of 8. And, maybe there is a school of thought where they're looking at it as everything's 4 down territory when I can get to 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But to put a bow on this thing here, I am going to knock Jalen for one decision and one decision only. And that was sticking the ball out on that tush push. Okay. Look, I don't know what anybody else is watching. Guys, that was a fumble. Okay.
Yep.
The whistle had not blown.
Yep.
The whistle had not blown, and that is not breaking the plane of the goal line. Getting a first down is not a dead ball spot, right? Not in the NFL, right? Really not anywhere.
Exactly.
When they're at the goal line and the tip of the ball breaks the plane, that's it. It's dead ball, touchdown, we're done. But when you're just getting the first down, that is not a dead ball. And that whistle had not blown yet. That was a fumble, and we got away with it. Period.
That's right.
Now, I'm not sure what is going on there. I know there's a lot of Giants fans out there that are pissed off about it. I don't blame them. But I wonder if this is just another thing that maybe the officials are like, well, let's just keep letting this look bad to give more ammo to get rid of this shit that's coming on. Because, I mean, look, guys, enjoy the tush push this year. It will be gone come next season. I promise. I absolutely promise you. If they don't officiate it out this year just by calling penalties on it every time we line up, eventually something's going to give.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the tush push, a lot of people earlier on in the season were kind of ratting on us with the offsides, and it didn't come out until later that teams were actually committing encroachment penalties and actually faking snap counts and faking hike sounds in order to get our guys to jump. But no, you're 100% correct. When the play happened live, I turned my dad. I said, "That is a fumble. Okay, this isn't the end zone. The play is not over." And I said, I don't think a lot of people understood how large of an implication that ruling had, because that was like that is how you would stop the play. Is you don't stop the offensive line, you try and just get to Jalen. And the Giants did it exactly how you should have done it. That was a fumble. And we absolutely got away with highway robbery because that was as clear as day. When they ruled forward progress, I was like, wow, that's very premature. That is very, very fast to call forward progress
I was
on.
shocked.
We got away with one, with one there. And it certainly doesn't help the rhetoric surrounding the tush push. I know Green Bay is going to they're going to be frothy at the mouth. I mean, no one hates that more than Green Bay. But I hope it doesn't leave. I really football. I mean, football was at the very beginning of the sport. Football was 2 yards in a cloud of dust, and this is pretty much no different than that. And so I really don't see a lot of the hate coming from that angle, but keeping it on track. That was definitely a fumble. We got away with one. And God, Jalen, I hope he learned his lesson.
Yeah, he's got to learn from that. You can't stick that ball out. That was a bad move. But so just what they're going to get rid of is, so the initial complaint, the initial thing filed to rule on was just that play. And the league basically was like, get out of my face. Right? We're not gonna take away just one play. Well, then they altered what Green Bay submitted, which was, we want to go back to the way it used to be, where you cannot push or pull a ball carrier at any point in the game at all. So I think when people start looking at, I talked about this, prior to the season, back during the spring when this was being voted on.
That's right.
Fans of these other teams that hate this play so much and hate us so much for running it, you need to understand what you're supporting. Those plays where you see your receiver catch the ball at the half-yard line and he gets stood up and he's fighting and a lineman comes over and smashes everybody in the end zone, that's now going to be illegal, okay? If you support what Green Bay is trying to get voted out. Now, look, if nobody's allowed to do it, I'm fine. If you're not trying to just outlaw one play, fine. Whatever. Take it away. If they uphold that, because it'll get voted out again in like March or whatever the hell it is, March or May or something, and it'll probably pass. They'll probably get rid of it in the spring. And if they uphold that and they take away the ability to push or pull a guy at any point, and the only time I see it officiated is when we try to do something like this, now I've got a problem. Right? Because now all you've done is taken away one play from one team. It's just because you're a bunch of whiny little bitches that can't stop it and can't replicate it. Right? That's not fair. You want to go back to the way it used to be where you can't shove the pile and you can't do any of that? Cool. I'm with it. Take it away. That punishes everyone equally. That's all I'm after with this.
Yeah, I would disagree. I don't want to I don't want to hold such a key and fun part of football hostage like that. If you want to push a pile, push a pile. Marshawn Lynch, half of his career yards came from pushing the pile. It's a part of football. You want to get extra yards. You want to try and push a guy into the end zone. It's going to be insane policing of everyone on the field. We're going to be zooming in on hands on backs and hands on shoulders and just everywhere and trying to over-police. The game is already over-policed as it is with things like with roughing the passer and with passer interference. I mean, Slayton pushed off, and there was even rhetoric around that. And so I think if we're going to try and police something as sensitive and fast and small and minute as pushing, or whether or not he generated force on the ground in a football move and generated force in a forward motion, which triggered the ball to move forward down the field. And it's going to be stupid. And I don't want to give Dean Blandino the power to kind of officiate over that.
There it is. Screw Dean Blandino and all his bullshit. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, if you're going to do this, it needs to be a punishment for every team, right? You can't have it just be targeted at the one play. That's the only thing I will not support. If you make a rule that everyone is treated the same way, then fine. I don't like it because it's going to take away our fun fucking brotherly shove, but at least I can accept the fact that everyone is being treated the same way. We all know what they're really after, but they're going to hurt themselves in the process. And if they're going to hurt themselves to do it, I still think we're more talented than most teams in football.
Oh.
So if you want to hurt yourself, that's fine, because I think I can still beat you straight up.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think that Roger would be royally pissed if a rule like that were to get passed, because it changes the way football is played. I mean, now it literally turns into two-hand touch football, where as soon as Saquon hits the linebacker, everyone has to be like, okay, guys, don't touch. It's mano-a-mano now. It's like, no, this is ridiculous. This is football. And just because
they've been going away from
some bitches in Wisconsin want to whine, bitch, and complain about not being able to stop Jalen Hurts who could squat 600 pounds, get out of here. Go play a different sport, loser.
Well said, Mason. But they've been going this way for a while. We're past them, a lot of finesse, pretty this and pretty that. And, they don't like the rugby-ish look of this play, right? It doesn't it doesn't appeal to the audience, whatever. I don't personally give a shit. Look, if I'm the Eagles, because I know this is probably the last year I'm going to be able to do this, I go into that Green Bay game and I will line up and run that play the first fucking 4 times that we take a snap. I'm going to shove.
The first drive is just like 18 pushes.
18 brotherly shoves.
That'd be so funny. That'd be so good. That'd be so good.
Away with it. Somebody would end up getting hurt, but I
mean, someone would get There'd be a streaker on the field, and we don't want that.
No. Well, not a Green Bay streaker.
No, that's true.
The picture
they'd freeze halfway.
The picture of this Dodgers fan that my friend just sent me, though, she could streak across the field anytime she wants. But hey, I think we're going to have to save the awards thing for next week too, brother. Coming right
I think that's actually fitting. I think that's fitting.
So then we'll have 3 topics for next week that'll carry us through without having a Birds game to talk about, right? Mid-season awards, you got the gambling shit. And a good one for everybody that's listening, we're going to get into next week. We're going to get into your worst first round picks, especially from the quarterback spot. And where does Anthony Richardson now rank in that mix, given what we're seeing from Daniel Jones in this Shane Steichen offense? I think that's going to be a fun topic. I was talking about maybe doing it this week. Mason, I think for the greater good was definitely on target with that. Let's save it for next week. Dive a little deeper into it when we don't have a Birds game to talk about much. But yeah. So I mean, at this point, brother, what do you got for closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. The offense continued for Minnesota, so I have growing faith in Kevin Patullo. This is the first defensive showing in a little bit where there was real kind of domination. We didn't really get a lot of turnovers, but we did hit Dart. Finally, we got those 5 sacks. I want to see the defense get turnovers again, get the ball back to Jalen, suck some air out of the opposing offense. But as for right now, we got a very important bye week. We got to recuperate. I want everyone healthy, or as healthy as they could be going into Green Bay, and I cannot wait for 50 touch pushes.
Well said. I'm on it. Just let's get healthy. Let's get right. Let's take this week and a half, 2 weeks to figure out what has and has not worked. It's nice to look at that Giants game and be like, well, we shoved them around. Remember, they are the Giants, right? They're not a very good team. Yeah. They are good up front defensively, but behind that, it's a lot of mush. But growing on what we've done the last couple of weeks, a little bit more continued creativity in the run game. Let's get a healthy offensive line and a healthy Saquon and continue to push people around, right? 35 to 40 rushing attempts, 20-ish, 20, 25-ish pass attempts. That's the ratio. It's what worked last year. That's the bread and butter. Let Jalen be efficient when the run game opens it up for him, right? It works beautifully. Want to see Jalen carry the ball a little more on design runs too, though. Not that I want to see him take more
Especially in
hits,
the red
but
zone. Yeah.
yeah, like you know what we haven't seen yet this year is that where everyone's spread out. He takes the direct snap and kind of does this, and then just takes off straight up
Yeah.
the gut. Right? We've not seen any of that yet, and maybe they're saving it. Who knows? But I guess we'll find out come Green Bay. That's a huge game. Micah Parsons up there now. I know he'll be chomping at the bit. Jordan Love,
Yep.
I know wants revenge. We started their 2024 with a loss in Brazil, and we ended their year in the playoffs last year.
That's
That
right.
has got to stick in their craw. They've got that new rookie wide receiver, Golden. They're going to be out looking for blood on that Monday night in Green Bay.
They're
So
going to
for
nip
all
at
of
our
you
heels.
going, and yes, Cap, I know that includes you. Yeah, they're going to be pissed off and fired up. Josh Jacobs will be out there looking for blood. I mean, it's going to be a battle. They're very talented and very young.
That's right.
But that's all I got for this week, man. You good?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. It was another exciting
Jason,
week of Eagles football, and I can't wait to get everything going. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a long time, but with football, it's always a very short time.
Yep. So we're going to be back at you again on Monday night next week. As I head to South Carolina on Tuesday, I won't have the availability on Wednesday evening. So Mason's going to let me know what time works for him on Monday evening. We'll try for 6. If it needs to be 6:30 or 7, Mason, just let me know. I know you're getting out of work at 5 or whatever. I don't want to rush you. So
no worries. No worries.
All right. Well, other than that, folks, for everyone in the room, for everyone listening now, listens later, thank you very much for joining. Come on back again next Monday night. We'll talk about Anthony Richardson and his bust ass and the upcoming Packers-Eagles game. And we'll talk a little bit of gambling and some mid-season awards, too.
That's right.
Till then, folks, this has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show with the MP, powered by Green Legion Radio. Brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Call 215-467-1980 for all of your group and party information. Y'all, be safe. Have fun. Enjoy your upcoming weekend. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. Remember, the judge is not back in until Monday. Mason, we always close this way. As always, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Stick around for a second, bud. All right, kids, that's it. Take care. We love you.